Good evening, good evening, good evening, Titan Nation. How's it going? Good morning to some of you as well. This is your boy Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. Welcome to another edition of Titans and Truth, a draft day version of Titans and Truth. And I'm telling you now, I am reporting live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's right, I am here at the site of the 2017 NFL Draft, live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love. And they have done nothing but show some brotherly love. It's been a great time so far. I am having a great time. I'm glad to be here supporting the Titans. And we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about the picks the Titans have made and a few surprises that happened in the draft. And so let's get right into it. Let's get started right away. First off, I got my partner in crime. Shout out to Mr. Travis Davis. Joining me on this trip. Well, actually, he invited me on this trip to come to the draft, so I thank him personally for inviting me on this trip. I'm having a great time so far. We still got a lot more stuff to do with the rest of the rounds 2 through 7 coming up. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all of Titan Nation, Titans fans for life, the uncensored fans, Smashville Titans. Shout out to everybody and all the subscribers that have subscribed to the page. Keep checking us out. Keep checking me out. We got a whole lot in store for you. So let's get right into it. Now, the Titans had a pretty good night. They had two big picks at 5 and at 18. And the question was going to be, were they going to stay at those picks? Were they going to trade the picks at all? Were they going to move up or down in the draft? That was the question that a lot of people were asking, and I'm here to give you the answer. They pretty much stayed put at where they were. Of course, we saw that Myles Garrett went number 1 to the Browns, which was obvious and unanimous. We figured that, and it looks like the news broke out even before the draft started that it was going to be Myles Garrett. Everything the dominoes started to fall at number 2. A shocking trade happened that I don't think anybody saw coming. We knew that the 49ers wanted to move down. They decided to move down one spot and give the Bears the second pick. They got a lot in return. The Bears gave up a lot, and so I'm thinking, okay, they're going to probably pick a defensive player. They're probably making sure they pick like Jamal Adams or somebody, or Marshawn Lattimore, make sure they get their guy. They take Mitchell Trubisky at 2. The Bears give up a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, another, I want to say a number 1 next year, or a number 3 next year. They gave up quite a bit to move up one spot and get Mitchell Trubisky. And not only did that happen with that trade, I think the Chicago Bears screwed up the entire draft. They screwed it all the way up. So thank you, Bear Nation, for screwing it up for the Titans and probably for everyone else. Because now that Trubisky's off the board, it messed up our chances of trading down. And so, yes, even though Trubisky goes number 2 to Chicago, Solomon Thomas goes to the 49ers, who they were going to pick anyway. Fournette goes to the Jags. Nice pick, but not worried. Our top 5 rush defense will shut him down. At 5, we stayed put. We were probably trying to find every possible way to trade down because they took it to the end of the clock just about to get their pick in, because I believe they were on the phone. They were scrambling, talking to somebody, trying to see who we could trade down with. And I guess a good deal never materialized. A good deal of value just was not there. So John Robinson decided to stay put. He stayed put and took the guy that he felt was the best guy on their board, Corey Davis, wide receiver out of Western Michigan. And I know there's a lot of you out there who were like, why in the world did we pick a receiver this high? Why did you pick him this early? Why didn't you pick Mike Williams? Or why you didn't pick Jamal Adams, who was on the board at the time? Yes, Jamal Adams was number 1 on my board, and I was hoping he might slide a little bit more, granted what happened. Yes, I'm not satisfied they didn't pick Jamal Adams. However, I'm actually pretty good with them picking Corey Davis. And here's why. Corey Davis, Excellent, excellent route runner. Very good production. Over 330 receptions in 3 years. 3-time All-American. Over 1,300 yards every year. Breaks off his routes and comes back to the quarterback if he's in trouble. Willing and very good blocker. Team first kind of guy. He is who John Robinson would like. So they might have wanted to go with him all along. And who's to say with what happened behind the Titans that if we traded down, say, with Cleveland, what were the odds that he would have been there anyway? There's a chance he might have not even been at 12. Because you saw Mike Williams go at 7, and I know a lot of it. I have clamored for Mike Williams for months. I have loved Mike Williams. I wanted him on the team. But everybody calm down. Corey Davis and Mike Williams were like 1A and 1B. You really can't go wrong with either one. Corey Davis is just a little bit better of a route runner, can get a little bit more separation, and is better with yards after the catch. I think that's going to pay great dividends for Marcus Mariota. So Marcus is probably happy. And if you notice from an interview that happened earlier this week, in a national interview, Corey Davis said his #1 quarterback, the guy he would love to play with the most, was Marcus Mariota. And obviously John Robinson and Mike Mularkey fell in love with Corey Davis and felt, this is our guy. This is the guy we need to bring in. So, hey, there it is. Number 84, Corey Davis will be a Titan, and I am good with it. I am satisfied with it. That's fine. Now, yes, Jamal Adams being gone, I'm disappointed in that, but hey, that's okay. You know, a lot of good players went after that. You know, Marshawn Lattimore went 11 to the Saints. You know, Christian McCaffrey ends up going to Carolina. That was after Fournette was gone. Now, a shocker in the draft, Kansas City trades all the way up to 10 to get Pat Mahomes, the quarterback from Texas Tech, which I wasn't expecting Kansas City to go up that high, but they wanted a good guy who could probably come in and back up Alex Smith and then eventually take over. So that was a little bit of a shocker to me. The Texans, or as some people have called them, the Fexans, decided they needed to trade up too. They saw the quarterbacks were going, and they saw that their guy that they really wanted, Pat Mahomes, was gone. So they decided to trade up and get Deshaun Watson. I'm hoping he's not going to be that good in the NFL. Only problem is he's a pretty decent quarterback. He's going to have a good defense on the other side. Deshaun Watson might cause us some problems, but we're going to deal with that, and we're going to beat him anyway. So I'm not really worried about that at all. But a very solid player for Deshaun Watson. I actually liked him as my top quarterback. If there was going to be a quarterback that anybody needed, I kind of liked him at that. Congrats to Hassan Reddick. Now, I made a typo on one of my live posts on Facebook. I said Hassan Reddick gets to stay home in Philadelphia. That was incorrect. He went to Arizona. He went to Arizona at 13. He went to Arizona at 13, 14, the Eagles, the hometown Eagles, decided to go with Derek Barnett from Tennessee. And I give congratulations to Derek Barnett getting selected. And what's intriguing about this, I know some Eagle fans were good with it, some Eagle fans were not. Think of the intrigue of this. You have Derek Barnett, who broke the sack record that was held by another former Tennessee volunteer, the late great Minister of Defense, Reggie White. Where did Reggie White have the most of his success? Right here in Philadelphia as an Eagle. And now Derek Barnett follows the footsteps of the minister, the late great Minister of Defense in Reggie White, comes to the Eagles, and he's going to be very good in that Jim Schwartz 4-3 defense. He's going to be a major problem in the NFC East. And so Cowboys, Giants, Redskins, y'all better have somebody really good to block him, because he's going to be a problem for the NFC East. Now, it got a little crazy. I mean, again, the AFC South got much better tonight. The Colts got Malik Hooker. Now, Malik Hooker, very good coverage corner, not very good at tackling. Only played a year. He has some injury issues too. Now, yeah, that's going to be a good pickup for the Colts, but again, we got to get after Andrew Luck. We have to beat the Colts at some point. Now, the fact that we got Corey Davis will help against Malik Hooker. And again, you know, he's a good player, but I'm not worried about that. I thought he would have won a lot sooner. Now at 16, I really think the Titans were looking at Marlon Humphrey, but they went to the Ravens instead. I'm actually kind of glad they did not pick Marlon Humphrey, because even though Humphrey was fast, has very good speed, willing tackler, what has always been the problem with Titan cornerbacks in the past? They never turn their head to look for the football. Marlon Humphrey has trouble doing that. That's not going to help us. So I'm actually kind of glad he went to the Ravens. Now at 17, the Redskins, I'm thinking, okay, Jonathan Allen might be the guy if he gets past Washington. Washington picked him up, so I was actually kind of mad about that. So, you know, shout out to Miss Crystal Hayward of the Redskin Nation, but I'm kind of upset that they took Jonathan Allen, because I was hoping that they would kind of get him and scoop him up. He would have been a steal. But at 18, again, we were thinking maybe we were going to trade down, but maybe the value wasn't there. Maybe what the Broncos offered wasn't enough, or something that the Seahawks or the Giants were offering just wasn't enough. So we stayed put. We got Adoree Jackson from USC, the cornerback from USC, and we knew we needed a corner at some point. We knew that we had to have a corner. Now, in my honest opinion, I think Adoree Jackson may end up being very good for us in the near future. I'd say in about 3 years from now, we're going to be very glad that we drafted Adoree Jackson. But my initial reaction was I was shocked, and I think we reached for Adoree Jackson. However, let's say this. Adoree Jackson ran a 4.340. He ran a 4.340, very fast, very instinctive. Could be a very good corner. Can start in the slot, maybe work his way outside. You know, and some people say, well, he'll have trouble covering bigger receivers. He's going to get a lot of practice with that, with bigger receivers, guys like Rashard Matthews and with Corey Davis in practice. So the whole mantra of covering bigger receivers might not be an issue for him. But it's also going to help when we go up against T.Y. Hilton. It's going to help when we go up against Will Fuller or DeAndre Hopkins. It's going to help when we go up against the Allen twins. That's going to help. Or a Marquise Lee if he's in the slot. He's going to be fast enough to keep up with those guys. So that might end up being a better pick at the end of it all. So I think Titan Nation, we just, you know, I've heard there are some Titan fans who are happy. There's some Titan fans who are upset. My words to all of you is calm down, relax. It is just the first round. There are plenty more picks to go. We still got 6 more picks in this draft. And, you know, remember, we were all praising John Robinson last year. Praise him now. In John we trust. John Robinson knows what he's doing. He wouldn't pick these players if they were not part of the culture that we're trying to build. We are trying to build team first, dependable. We're trying to build that culture of winning, that culture of Titan football that's going to last in the playoffs for years and years and years to come. This can work out good for us. Now, did I like the Adoree Jackson pick at first? I thought it was a reach, but I'm okay with that. Corey Davis, I give that a B+, A-, because we needed a receiver. He's a very good receiver, and he's going to be a guy that's going to pay dividends for us in the near future. I'm betting to believe that. I'm going to go and say a bold prediction that within the first 2 years, Corey Davis will be a Pro Bowler within the first 2 years. That's what I really think. And I think Adoree Jackson will be a solid contributor, may even be a starter opposite Logan Ryan. So I'm good with that. Now, some other things that happened behind us. Now, I wish that we probably could have drafted O.J. Howard. He went right behind us to the Buccaneers. Not really shocked about that. Was shocked that the Giants went with Evan Ingram early. I think they might have reached for that, but he's exclusively a pass-catching tight end. He's not going to really give him much help in the run game on that. Also, another pick, Garyon Conley going to the Raiders at 24. With all the allegations that are going on, with all the allegations that have been going on as far as this case, now nothing's been proven yet. And some people were really saying that he could probably drop to the 3rd round. Instead, he got picked in the 1st round. So, what do some experts know? The Cleveland Browns, who traded back with Houston, ended up getting Jabril Peppers. Very solid pick for them. They never went quarterback. Jabril Peppers could play all over the field for them. So, their defense got better with that pick, and I know we're going to be facing Cleveland at some point this season. Defensively, Cleveland's going to be pretty good, but I think we'll have an advantage because they still don't have a quarterback. It looks like they're going to go with Brock Osweiler as their quarterback. That's going to be good for us. Now, also, and it looks like the Browns, if I'm not mistaken, the Browns traded back into the 1st round with Green Bay and got David Njoku from Miami. He could be a good pass catcher tight end. He could be with him and Barnidge in Cleveland. Could be a nice tandem, but I'm still not worried. They don't have a quarterback, so I'm not really worried about that. And then there's Reuben Foster. Reuben Foster goes to the 49ers. Looks like there was, he goes to the 49ers. The Seahawks traded back, and it looks like what happened, the Seahawks traded back with the Falcons and then traded out of the 1st round altogether. And so the 49ers trade back into the 1st round as well and get Reuben Foster. Now, again, that helps their defense with Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster. They got better, but I mean, we'll see what type of teammate Reuben Foster is going to be with everything that happened with him at the Combine, the diluted drug test, and, with everything with that. If he fails a drug test again, he's going to be down 4 games. And, that might come back to be a mistake by John Lynch. And with him being a rookie GM, never being a scout or anything like that, he kind of went for the jugular a little bit. Traded up, traded back, and then traded back into the 1st round. Took some guts to do that. So that was a very solid pick. Helped to end the 1st round. Now, let me go back. I want to explain something with some fans that I interacted with tonight. There were some Titan fans who were good with the picks, but there were some Titan fans who thought we should have picked Reuben Foster at 5. Here's the thing about Reuben Foster. You got to take a look at the intangibles. Take away the talent. We know that Reuben Foster is very, very talented. An excellent linebacker. Would have been an excellent pick for us. But you got to look at the intangibles. Is he a team-first guy? Is he dependable? Judging by what happened at the Combine, he seemed like he was a me-first guy. He seemed like he was a me-first guy. He felt that he should skip ahead of everybody else to get everything done. No patience. I'm like, you have over 300 people, 300 guys at this Combine. They had to wait. You should go ahead and wait too. And then the failed drug test. I mean, here's the thing about it. Even if it was diluted, it doesn't matter. It counts as a failed drug test. And with that happening, even with him being drafted, he's already now in the substance abuse program. He's on the list. So if he fails a drug test again in any way, what happens? He's out 4 games off the top. If he fails a drug test at any point of the season, he loses 4 games. Off jump. So, that would have been too much of a risk for the Titans to take at 5. Or even at 18, it might have been a risk. And they felt Adoree Jackson would be the better pick. So, calm down on this about they should have took Reuben Foster or anything like that. Now, one of the last Alabama players we took who was supposed to be really great in Chance Warmack. What happened with that? He's here in Philadelphia as an Eagle because he didn't cut it here in Tennessee. He didn't cut it with the Titans. So, a little bit too much stock gets put into Alabama players thinking that they would just translate easily into being great NFL players. Not a lot of those Alabama players turn out so good. Yeah, you have a few, but you don't have too many. So, I just tell everybody, calm down. I'm giving you a word of caution. It's going to be all right. In John, we trust. Some of the same fans who are complaining, y'all trusted John Robinson last year. Trust him this year. He knows what he's doing. And with Adoree Jackson, you killed two birds with one stone. And I forgot to mention this. Adoree Jackson will help us on defense. What does he also do well? Return, kicks, and punts. Didn't we need a returner? Well, we got one. Adoree Jackson is going to be returning punts and kicks for the Titans next year. So we got our return man as well as somebody that can help us in the secondary. We killed two birds with one stone. Bang. Now, understandably enough, John Robinson probably was trying hard as ever to get into the second round. And there's probably still another way he can get into the second round. He's going to have to use one of those third round picks to do it. And he may have to use them both to get up into the second round. Or he may move up further in the third round. We don't know. So, trust John Robinson. He knows what he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. He's our general manager for a reason. He is 100 times better than Rustin Webster or Mike Reinfeldt could ever be. So, trust in the process. In a couple of years from now, some of y'all are going to be like, oh yeah, I believed in Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson. And y'all were the same ones who were talking bad about these picks. Trust in the process. It's going to work. John Robinson knows what he's doing. It is going to work. And we are going to be all right. And we are going to be a playoff team. So, relax. Enjoy the night. Enjoy the fact that we got two solid players at two positions of need. Now, we still got work to do. And there are still a lot of good players left on the board. So, let's go for that and get ready for round 3 tomorrow. I'm liking it. I'm good with it. Corey Davis, I give him an A-. Adoree Jackson, I'm going to give it a solid B. I'm going to give it a B- actually, with a chance of it moving up to a B+, because I think the return game is going to help with that. So, that's what I think about the picks. Those are my thoughts of that. And, you know, both of these guys, with some of the sound bites that I heard and some of the quotes that I've heard, they both seem like they're ready to get to work. They're excited to get to work. They're excited to be Titans. That's all you could really want. Guys who are excited to be Titans. And both of these guys seem like they're excited to be Titans and they're ready to play. We're going to let them play. I'm happy about that. So, there it is on that. Now, taking a look at a couple of prospects who are left on the board after round 1. Dalvin Cook. We don't need a running back, but you know, it's not, I mean, it's somewhat of a surprise that he's still on the board. I thought he might get in the late end of the first round, but he's still there. Forrest Lamp, who Jason Wolf of the Tennessean has been clamoring for us to pick at 18. I mean, if he's there in the third round, maybe he'll be a steal and could start at guard. Maybe he could start at guard, but I think that would be too soon for that. Other players who are left. Of course, Joe Mixon, the running back. I wouldn't even have him on my board. So, enough about Joe Mixon. You got Tim Williams, Zach Cunningham, Alvin Kamara are still on the board. I know a lot of people think we should get a tight end. Tight ends are still plenty on this board. There are still guys like Gerald Everett, Jordan Leggett from Clemson, Kittle from Iowa, the player from Adam Shaheen, another player from a small school that's on the board. There are plenty of tight ends on the board that we can get. Jake Butt's another one that are on the board. Inside linebacker is still on the board. Raquan McMillan, Zach Cunningham. These guys are still on the board. Plenty of corners are still on the board. A Weez away from Colorado is still on the board. Witherspoon from Colorado. Kevin King, I believe is, let me see if they picked him. I'm sorry, I'm going back to take a look. Yeah, Kevin King is still on the board. You know, Kevin King's still on the board. Sidney Jones is still on the board. And he could play this season. I am praying that John Robinson gets him at 83 if he doesn't move up. If he can move up and get him, he can play by October or November. He can still play this year. Adoree Jackson plays in the slot. Bang, that fixes our secondary. Or a Weezaway could play on the outside. So there's still plenty of excellent corners and excellent round one fits that are in the second and third, that are going to be there in the second and third rounds for us to pick. So it's going to be all right, and we're good. There are plenty of picks left to be made. So that's really what I think about that and everything. And, you know, basically what's going to be happening now tomorrow, we got rounds 2 and 3 coming up. That's going to be starting in the evening around 6 o'clock. They're going to start the second and third rounds of the draft. Myself and my guy Travis will be, we're trying to get in the theater, so we have tickets to be in the theater for rounds 2 and 3 to be able to enjoy those picks that come in from John Robinson and Mike Mularkey. Now, I'm going to try to do a recording tomorrow if I can. It's not going to be as extensive as like the Facebook Live post that I did today or even this show. But I am going to try to get some footage on the picks that come in tomorrow as well as Saturday. And remember, I'm still going to attempt to run a 40-yard dash in the combine corner. So get ready for that and cheer me on and hope that I don't make a complete fool of myself when I do it. But those are my thoughts about that. I'm going to go back and try to see if I can listen to the press conference from Mike Mularkey and John Robinson and see what they said about the picks that they made, and I'll have a little bit more on that information tomorrow. So also I'm going to drop my blue bombshell. Again, welcome Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson to the Titans. Congratulations to Derek Barnett on being selected. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies, even though they lost and were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the San Antonio Spurs. They gave grit and grind. They gave all heart. You know, it took 6 games. They played tough. I'm looking forward to what will happen next year. I hope they add some more shooting and get some more depth. But shout out to my Grizzlies. I'm going to support them all the way, just like I do the Titans. And also the Nashville Predators going up 1-0 in their second round series against St. Louis. Good luck to them tomorrow night in Game 2 against the St. Louis Blues. Hopefully they come back to Nashville up 2-0 on them. I'll be getting set to go to Game 4 on Tuesday night. I can't wait to be there. It's going to be exciting in Smashville. I'm looking forward to that very much. But that's going to do it for, that's going to pretty much do it for me. If you have any thoughts or comments or questions that you want me to answer tomorrow night on Facebook, on my Facebook Live, or even here on YouTube, get up with me. Again, subscribe to the page, Christopher Newell, Titans and Truth. Hit me up on Facebook under Chris A. Newell. Hit me up on Instagram as well. So, you know, look for me. Even I'm on Twitter as well, under Blue Enforcer on Twitter. So look for me there as well. I'm gonna post this here on YouTube. I'm gonna post it on Facebook. I'm gonna try to post it on Twitter as well. So get up with me, Titan Nation. We got a lot to be proud of, and we got a little bit ways to go. Let's get ready, because 2017, 2018 is going to be a great year. I really believe it. We're going to this is our first step to the playoffs right here. So that's what's going to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I thank y'all very much for tuning in. This is Chris Newell, Titans and Truth. Miss Truth Hurts, I miss you, girl. I'm out. Tighten up, Titan Nation.